So if you're anything like me and you have a Gear watch, then you have watch faces. You have more watch faces. You're an impulse buy and you have tons of watch faces. So we're going to make a program that's going to figure out where we're at or what time of day or whatever. We can actually choose what that is. And it's going to pick the appropriate watch face for that occasion. I have this tropical one, which is supposed to emulate a very expensive watch. And I might want to use that when I'm at a fancy restaurant or I'm at a casino. I have another one that's great when I'm going to like a Fortnite convention. I have another one. Let's see if we can find a little spooky one that I wear during Halloween or when I'm going to Halloween parties. So, I have this other one that's I think only me and Vladimir Putin have this particular watch face. So to do this, we're going to use a program called Tasker. Tasker is going to allow you to really make your smartwatch smart. So we have three sections. We have a thing called profiles, and that profiles stands for when this happens. And the tasks are do this. Just as the name implies, it's a task. It's what we want it to do. Then we have scenes and variables, and we're not even going to use those. Well, let's think about it for a second. What do we need to do? Well, in order to do this, the first thing we need to do is go into the Galaxy Wearable program. So that's going to be the first thing on our list. So we're going to create a new task list, a new list of things, and we'll call this Watch Face Tutorials, or Watch Face Tutorial, be fine. And this is now our list of actions. What actions do we want it to take? So the first one is we want to launch the Galaxy Wearable program. So we're going to go ahead and click on the plus button. And then these are all the things that you can do in Tasker. And as you feel more comfortable with Tasker, you'll get into these. But we want to launch a program. So we're just going to go ahead and type in launch. And the one that we want is launch app, because that's what we want. So we'll go ahead and we'll click on launch app. It will show us a list of all of our apps. We're going to go through our list and we're going to look for Galaxy Wearable, and we're going to click on that. And it gives us some other options, but we don't care about that. We're just going to click the right arrow, the left arrow at the top. That means okay. And now it's added that to the list. So step number one, it's going to launch the Galaxy Wearable. We can test that by clicking the play button. And as you see, it didn't just pop it up. It actually went and loaded the program for us. All right. So that's the first thing that we want to do. Now, the next thing we want to do is make sure that we're on our Gear S3. I have Galaxy Buds and I have Gear S3. So we want to make sure that we click on that options key in the upper left-hand corner, and then we're going to click on the Gear S3. So that's two steps. So let's take the first step, which is the option button. We're going to use a feature called Auto Input. Auto Input is going to emulate us actually touching the screen so that we don't have to do it ourselves. So we're going to type in Auto Input. And in this case, it's an action as opposed to a gesture. Again, we'll talk about that in a different video. So we're going to go ahead and click on Auto Input Action. And that sort of acts as sort of a screen recorder for what we want it to do. So now we have a screen. It says, what do we want to do for configuration? Just click on that little pencil. And it's very flexible and has all these different things. Don't worry about it. We're going to go with where it says Easy Setup. So you go ahead and you click on Easy Setup. And what it's going to tell you to do is go to the screen that you're interested in. Click the Add button, which will sort of start the recorder. And it says click the button. So we only get to do one at a time. So we're going to go back into the Galaxy Wearable. We're going to let it know that we're ready by scrolling down, clicking on Add, and then we're going to click on that Options button. And now it knows that that's the button that we want it to push. So it says, that's the button you wanted to push. Is that right? And we say accept. And it says, okay, I need to go back to Tasker now. I'm all set. And it will actually show you Tasker. And then you just click on the Tasker window. It's a little funny. The first time you do this, it's a little confusing. But once you see this in action, you're all set. Now it says, look, you clicked on this grid mark, or you clicked on the navigation draw text, or you clicked on this, or you clicked on this XYZ. So it gives you a lot of different flexibility. I normally leave the default. We're going to change one later, but I'm going to leave the default, which is it knows That's the icon in that area. And that helps because if you change the screen size, you could have a problem, but that's going to be fine. And it says, what did we do? Did you long click? Did you click? Did you paste? So we say click. So we're going to go ahead and click on click. And then we're going to click on the checkbox. And it's going to show us that it knows all of these different things. And then we're going to hit that left arrow, which is like OK. And now we have 2 items. So now it's going to launch the program, and it's going to go ahead and click on that options button. And we're going to go ahead and test that now by clicking the play button in the lower left-hand corner, that little triangle. And you see it brings it up, and there we are. Now, what was the next thing it has to do? We want it to click on the gear S3 so that we're sure that we're on that. So we just repeat the process. We go back to Tasker, we go to our list, we click our plus button, we type in auto input. You already should be following along with this. You'd say, oh, we're going to do auto input action. We're going to click on configuration. We're going to click on easy setup. It says go to where you want to go. When you're ready for me to start recording, go ahead and click the add button. So we're going to click the add button. We're going to click the gear S3. It says, hey, you click the gear S3. Is that the one that you want? It's going to ask us to accept it. We're going to go ahead and say, yes, that's the one that we want. It says, okay, if that's the one you want, let's go back to Tasker. And we're going to go ahead and click on Tasker. And now, again, it says all of these different options. We're going to leave the default option for right now. That's fine. And now we're all set. Now we have 3. That's going to be a click. We're going to click on OK. We're going to click on the left arrow. Now we have 3 things. So let's go ahead and run that. And there we go. So it actually did it. Now, what's the next thing we're going to do? Well, the next thing we want to do is click on watch faces. So we repeat the process. So we're going to go back to Tasker. We're going to click on the plus sign. We're going to type in auto input. We're going to select auto input action. And again, you could use this to, hopefully your brain is going, oh, I could do this, a whole bunch of things I could use this for. So we're going to go to where we're supposed to be. We're going to click the add button, and we're going to click on watch faces. And then it says you click watch faces. Is that what you want? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to click on accept. We'll go back to Tasker. Now it gives us a couple of different options. I'm actually going to take watch faces 2 of 3 on the tabs just because that's a little bit more direct. And we'll click on click, and we'll click on OK, and then we'll click the left button. And now we have 3 items. So let's go ahead and run that and see what happens. So it goes ahead and does that. And it looks like it stopped. It didn't stop. What happens is it's doing it so fast that we're not giving the program a chance to react. So we're going to go ahead and just put a little wait sign in there. If you do this and you find that you run into an issue like that, it almost always is because you're going so fast. So you want to build a little time in there. So we're going to click on this. We're going to click on plus, and we're going to click on. So we're going to say wait 2 seconds. That's actually pretty long in computer terms. And we're going to just cut, copy, and paste this in here so that we have a 2-second delay in between those. Okay, so now let's go ahead and run this and see what we get now. And so it goes in, it clicked on that, it clicked on that, it's giving it a second to wait, and then it clicks on watch faces. Boom, perfect. Okay, so again, there's a little tip there. So if you find that something isn't running, almost always it's because you went faster than it was able to figure out what was going on. Okay, so now what's the next thing we want to do? Well, the next thing we want to do is actually select a watch face. So in our list here, we're going to select the watch face. It's called large. And we're going to repeat the process. So now back in Tasker, we're going to go ahead and click on the plus sign. We're going to click on auto input again. And it's auto input action. Going to go to configuration. We're going to go to easy setup. We're going to make our way there. We're going to click the add button. Then we're going to click on large. And it says you clicked on large. Is that what you want? We're going to say accept. We're going to go back to Tasker again. And this time we're going to select the one that says element text large. And the reason for that is that it basically looks for the text called large, and it will click on that. And I'll show you why we're going to use that in a moment. But let's just go ahead and click on element text large, and it's a click. And OK, a little checkbox and our left arrow, and we're all set. And let's go ahead and run that. And we'll see that it's going to go in, click the button, click the Gear S3, click the watch faces. You can actually see it click on that, and then it clicks on large. Beautiful. Okay, so it's gone ahead and done large. So now why did I choose the element text instead of the default it had? The reason being the default it had was it was picking the third watch down in the grid, and that's not what we want. We want it to be, the watch faces may not always be in the same order, so we wanted that one. So now we're going to go and we're going to try and change it. So we're going to go into configuration, and this time we're going to go into field text. We're going to take out large, and we'll put in STARJE. That's another watch face that we have, and put that in there, and go ahead and click on OK. And OK, and our left, and now let's run it and watch what happens. So it's going to go ahead, it's going to open the program, it's going to click on the options, it's going to click on the Gear S3, it's going to click on watch faces, and then it's going to click on STARJE, and Bob's your uncle, it has now changed the watch face. So now you know that if we just change that text, we can make it do a different watch face. So let's just prove that to ourselves. Let's take out STARJE, and we'll type in tropical bird. If I can type properly here, let's get rid of that. Try that again. So all you have to do is know the name of the watch face you want to bring up, and it will go ahead and do that for us. Let's go ahead and click on OK. Let's click on the left, and let's go ahead and let's make sure we're on a different one. Okay, we're fine. And let's go ahead and run that. And now it opens up the program. It clicks on it, looks for it, clicks as watch faces, clicks on tropical bird, and beautiful. We're all set. Now, the only thing is that it's still leaving us within this program. Unfortunately, there's not a way to really kill a program without being rooted, but we can take it off of that screen. So we're going to add one last thing. We're going to click the plus sign. We're going to click home, which is the same as you hitting the home button. And we're going to add that to that. And so let's go ahead and run it now. Goes in, clicks Gear S3, clicks on watch faces, clicks on tropical bird. We already have it, so it's not going to change. And then it comes back to the home screen. All right. So you now know how to change a watch face. Now, if you were a programmer, you would do all these things with variables and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to do all that. We're going to take the easy way out, which is we're just going to take what we just created, and we're going to make copies of that, and we're going to just put in where that text is. We're going to just change the text to match what it is that we want to do. So we're going to take this one, and this one is all set, and this is ready to go as tropical bird. So we'll take this one, watch face. We'll change this to watch face tropical. And now that's the watch face tropical. Now we're going to take this one again, and we're going to go up, and we're going to click on clone, and we'll change that from tropical, and we'll make this one, we'll rename this one and just call it large. And you know what we have to do now? We have to go into this one for large, and we need to edit the text. So instead of it saying tropical bird, it will say large. So let's go in there. Let's click on Action 8. Let's click on Configuration. Let's click on Field Text, and change this to large, and save it, and left arrow. And now when we run the one for tropical, or the one for large, it'll go ahead and it'll change the face to large for us. And then when we click on the one for tropical, it will switch it to tropical. Now, again, there's other ways of doing this, but this works. See, you're doing it for yourself, so you don't have to have this big high-techy, super neat way of doing it as far as programming is concerned. This works. So by doing that, you can just keep cloning that. And if you have 10 watch faces that you use a lot, just clone that 10 times and change the text to match whatever that is. So you'll have one for tropical and large and presidential watch and spooky eye and all that stuff. So now we have those. So now how do we get it to actually decide when to do it? So that's where those profiles, remember I said that's the when this happens. So on the plus, so we're going to go to profiles, we're going to click the plus sign, and there's all of the different things that we can do. We can make this happen because we did something with a specific application. It's a specific day of the week. A specific event happens, like maybe there's an alarm or it's somebody's birthday or whatever. A location, a state, which means like something is happening at that time. And then there's time itself. That's a little confusing, but that's all right. We're going to go with location first. So, and again, super easy. Our phone knows where we are, so that's how we're going to use that. So we're going to go ahead and click on location. And it says add a new location. We're going to go ahead and click on the plus sign. And you can either drag and drop and move this around. Easiest thing I find to do is go to the option button and then just type an address and then just put in the address. So I don't know, Empire State Building. And you can see it works with Google. So it says, look, the Empire, that's where the Empire State Building is. So we go ahead, we click on it. We've selected it. Let's click cancel here. Let's go to the left button. And it says name this location. I always put an @ sign just so that I know what it is, that it's a location piece. So we're going to say @ Empire State. Those are the coordinates for it up above, but I'm going to have this so that it's easy for me to read. And it says, okay, when you're at the Empire State, which of these little tasks do you want to run? Now you can see I have a bunch of tasks, but the ones that I'm interested in obviously are these watch face ones. And I'm going to go ahead and click on, in this case, large or tropical. And that's it. When I get to that location, my GPS on my phone will tell, because Task is always running in the background. It's very good on battery life. So don't worry about saying, okay, this is going to kill my battery. You won't even know Task is running. He spent a lot of time making sure. So when we get to that location, it will automatically run that task. That's all we have to do. So let's do a different one here now. Let's do one based on time. So I'm going to go ahead and click time, and I'm going to set it for 11:16. It's 11:15, so we'll set it for 11:16. And again, you could set it for every day, every hour. I mean, you could set it any number of different ways, but we're just going to say 11:16. And it says at 11:16, what do you want to do? And I'm going to say, okay, I want you to select large. Let's select a different one for right now. And now we play the waiting game because it's 11:15. So at 11:16, it's going to automatically run that for us. So as long as we're near our watch, it's going to go ahead and do that for us. And while we're waiting, we can combine these. So we can say, if it's 11:16 and I'm at the Empire State Building, then do this. Or if it's 11:16 and I'm at the Empire State Building and it's December, switch to the holiday piece. So you can stack these as many different ways as you want. When I connect to a certain Wi-Fi, well, I must be at this particular place. So go ahead and change my watch face to this. So it's really amazing the way you can control that. As you saw, it was 11:16. It went and did it. Let's just take a look at how you'd stack them. You just click add, and then you click whatever else is the additional piece that you want. So for example, I'll click location, and it says, okay, which one? I'll say Empire State. So now those two conditions have to be met. It has to be 11:16, and I have to be at the Empire State Building in order for it to launch the watch face. So it's that easy to now get your watch faces to change based upon your location. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. When we get to that, that's going to make it so much easier for us to create content on a regular basis. That really opens some doors for us on YouTube, so we could really use your support. If you want to jumpstart yourself on this project, you can actually visit the Patreon site, and those task projects are already there. They're ready to go. All you have to do is download those, load up Tasker, import these 2 files, and you'll be all set and ready to go. So you don't even have to do the programming that I just laid out right now. So that's another way to help support the channel. All right, until the next time, this is Orman Beckles, aka the High Tech Nomad, signing out.